welcome back, and always an honor and perfect timing to have back with us today Kenneth Abramowitz. He's the author of the Multifront War, and if there's ever a book that you need to read, this is the one right now, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russia, pandemics, racial strife. He's the managing general partner and co-founder of NGN Capital. Ken is also the contributor to various organizations that are fighting to protect Israel and America from political Islam and the radical left. He founded what's called the SaveTheWest.com, and that is the website, SaveTheWest.com. And basically, it's a website dedicated to saving Western civilization from itself. Think about that. Anyway, it's called SaveTheWest.com. Ken, always an honor. Good to see you, friend. How are you?
Sure. Great to be with you, as always.
Thank you. Okay. Here we are, close to a, quote, another deal with Iran. And in the United States, it's saying that we've actually got a deal. We just got to put it all together. We've been down this road before, and I think I know what your answer is going to be, but what's the deal, and can we trust it?
Well, I don't trust any deal. When you're negotiating with a professional terror organization, you can, the history says you can give up whatever you want to give up, but you're not getting anything in return. On the other hand, I understand President Trump wants a deal. He says he's only going to take a good deal. So I'll trust him to negotiate a good deal to the extent that he can. And he obviously needs strong enforcement mechanisms to make sure that the bad guys do what they say they're going to do.
Is this another attempt to just delay? Because at the end of the day, excuse me, we know the president does not want Iran to have a nuke. And we also, the president said, we have to get control of the enriched uranium. I can't even imagine Iran letting that go. What do you think?
Yes, they need, in their minds, they need a nuclear weapon and the enrichment capabilities behind it for two reasons. One is to actually get a nuclear weapon and kill everybody, because it's a death cult. So they publicly called for killing everyone in America, death to America, and they've called for killing everyone in Israel, death to Israel. That's one reason to have a nuke. The second reason is to threaten to blow up everyone in America or everyone in Israel. So can you imagine what kind of blackmail they would do every week? They would say, well, if you give me $5 billion, I won't blow up everyone in America. And then the next week, well, I need 10 billion. And the next week, 15 billion. It'd be nonstop extortion forever, which will then force America back into fight, and you could have millions of people dead then. So I'd rather have hundreds, tens or hundreds of people dead now than millions of dead people later.
So in the meantime, during all this delay and supposed negotiation, they have restocked their drone capabilities unbelievably. I mean, China is sending a lot of drones over there, and they're using them. They're using them on their neighbors. They're using them all over the place. Can we afford this delay any longer?
Well, one of the mistakes made is when you have a ceasefire, you have to have rules. You don't just say ceasefire and then no rules. So we should have put in a rule, no resupply. And if you resupply yourself from 6 roads in Pakistan, we're going to blow them up. And if you resupply from the train that goes between China and Iran through Pakistan, we'll blow that up. And if you resupply yourself through Russia in the Caspian Sea in the north, we'll blow up those ports. But we didn't say that. So that's a problem. And I know how to fix it.
Okay, so in the meantime, the Straits is shut down, and the ceasefire is being violated. Do we really have a ceasefire right now?
Well, we don't really have a ceasefire because everybody's getting ready for the next war. Iran's digging its missiles out of wherever they were buried. They're preparing. I'm told they bought a lot of drones from China, and So they're getting ready for the war. So what I would do is just take every day Iran gives America an excuse because they violate the ceasefire. So I would say every day that America has an excuse, pretend that there's a ceasefire, and then blow up the ports in the Caspian Sea. And then the next day, pretend there's a ceasefire. Iran does something to violate the ceasefire, blow up the train line between Iran and China. So I would pretend, if they're going to pretend that we have a ceasefire, then we can pretend that there's a ceasefire and keep blowing up selective targets.
Do you think the president has a line not to be crossed, and are we close to it?
Well, as you know, President Trump is very unpredictable, and sometimes he admits, I don't even know what I'm going to do. But every day is a new day. I would think that eventually, within a week or two, he'll come to the conclusion that Iran's just not serious, that the deal is not enforceable, and he can't trust them, and that he'll go to military means. That's, I would say, 75%. And a 25% chance he'll say, look, the deal's not perfect. It's not even, I'm not happy with the deal. I'll pretend that I'm happy with the deal. I'll take the deal, get the prices of oil down, get the Strait of Hormuz open, and then after the midterms, I'll blow up Iran. That's the other way to look at it.
What do you think about China's role in all of this now? Even as you know, the president goes over to Beijing and he has this big state welcoming over there. He comes home. It doesn't seem like they really got too far down the road. In the meantime, China is funneling these drones over to Iran. Why aren't we putting more sanctions on China to stay out of the Middle East?
Yes. After President Trump's summit with President Xi, America put out a press release saying what China agreed to. But China never put out a press release saying what they agreed to. So we only have the American version as of now. And so according to the American version, China promised not to sell weapons to Iran. Meanwhile, there was a ship docking in Iran delivering missiles the day before. And subsequently, they've sent drones. And all the nuclear technology came directly or indirectly from China. So I don't trust bad guys is basically the point. And I trust democracies, but I don't trust dictatorships. And that's why I'm not a big fan of negotiating with dictatorships, because and President Trump has said this. He says Iran's not a great military power, but they're great at negotiations.
Okay. Can we afford to delay finishing the job any longer?
Well, I heard General Jack Keane speak, and he's one of my big heroes, and he would say no. He would say every day that we wait, Iran's a little stronger. It'll be a little more difficult for our Air Force, and America's at risk. I would say existential risk. He didn't use the word existential, but I would say he would say we're at risk, and when we have to do something, we have to make a decision like in the next week or two. We can't just keep stringing this along.
Do you think we're there?
Well, I think we're there, but I would go back. I think the basic mistake made. Nothing wrong with negotiating, but we never should have had a ceasefire. We should have said to Iran, you want to talk? We want to talk. We're happy to talk. It has nothing to do with the ceasefire. Let's just keep talking. And if they said, no, we don't want to talk during a ceasefire, then we would say, well, here's my telephone number and call me when you're ready, but we're going to keep bombing. So I would have kept bombing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, which President Trump promised, until he changed his mind and went for the negotiations.
Where's Israel in all this today?
Well, Israel's fighting shoulder to shoulder with America, and of the roughly 25,000 sorties flown during the almost 40-day war, Israel flew half of them. Americans don't know that, but Israel was fighting as much as America was fighting. That's why the two of us were so effective together. So Israel, I'm sure, would rather attack now because Israel has a different motive. Israel wants regime change. America is hoping for regime change. Israel wants to induce regime change. So there's a slight difference of opinion between the two countries. But look, this is how you get endless wars. President Trump says, I hate endless wars. Well, you get endless wars when you don't win. The way to get to obviate the necessity of fighting endless wars is to win. So President Trump should go back to his original discussions of endless wars and realize, let's just plain win.
Are we hoping against the obvious, and that is we're hoping that the people of Iran would rise up and create the regime change? But they've been intimidated not to do that. When you kill 46,000 of your own people, why would you come out of your house? So is that just kind of foolish to think that they're going to come and take control of their country?
I think they will, but not yet. I think they learned their lesson by prematurely coming out of their house and then getting mowed down and having 40 or 50,000, who knows, maybe more, dead brave Iranians. So I think America and Israel have to bomb more convincingly for another 2 or 3 weeks and then offer air support. I think to just ask civilians without guns to rebel against bad guys with guns is not fair, and we would have to provide some sort of air support to protect the protesters.
Very good.
And then they'll come out.
Very good point. All right, let me take a quick break. Get a copy of his book called The Multifront War, there by Kenneth Abramowitz. There's a picture of the cover of the book. Pretty much explains everything we're talking about. And it's called The Multifront War. And go to his website, SaveTheWest.com. And there's a picture of that landing page. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Such an honor to have back with us today Kenneth Abramowitz, the author of The Multifront War, which is a must-read book, and check that out online. And then, of course, his website, SaveTheWest.com. Ken, it's just so much here. It just appears to me, and I don't want to be oversimplistic here, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a deal that means anything. I give President Trump kudos for trying the diplomatic solution. And I don't think there's anybody in the world that will criticize them for not trying that. But at the end of the day, Iran just can't be trusted at any level. So it looks like we're inevitably going to get involved in another conflict, maybe for the next couple of weeks or so, or how long it will take. Do we have the armament to sustain that?
Well, it's a real dilemma. It's typical of situations like this. There's no perfect solution to a dilemma of this magnitude. On one hand, we can wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months until Iran runs out of money. That's one plan. The other plan is we could start attacking tomorrow for 2 or 3 weeks and basically keep attacking till they surrender or the bad guys are gone or we induce regime change, which is all of which are uncertain. So, and I guess there's a third choice is to pretend to have a deal, to get the price of oil down, get the Strait of Hormuz open, take a purposely bad deal, but pretend that it's a good deal and wait till the midterms and then start up all over again. The trouble is we have huge percentage of our Navy and Air Force tied up. You just can't keep those folks flying around, doing circles for 6 months. They have families. They have to get home. Ships have to get repaired. So everything's a dilemma here. There's no easy solution.
Hezbollah is attacking Israel, has earlier today attacked severely inside Israel. And there's another example of not finishing the job. What do you think of that?
No, you're exactly getting to the crux of the problem. Israel has half finished the job in Lebanon, half finished the job in Gaza, and America and Israel have half finished the job in Iran, and America and Israel have half finished the problem with the Houthis in Yemen. So we have three half-finished wars, and so it's not satisfying. Can you imagine watching a baseball game? It ends in the ninth inning, sometimes the 15th inning. Can you imagine if the baseball game went on for 874 innings?
Yeah.
People would say, hello, just finish this game here. And so that's the dilemma we face. And that's why I would accelerate the process through bombing now, but I can understand delaying the process by just embargoing. But if we're going to embargo the Strait of Hormuz and not allow Iran to get resupply, we have to blow up the Caspian Sea base where they're getting resupplied by Russia, and we have to blow up the 6 roads in the one train that leads to China through Pakistan so that they can't get resupplied. We can't play this game.
Boy, that's a great point, because my next question was going to be, why don't we just take control of the straits? Why are we playing footsies here?
Well, the reason is that Iran has a lot of anti-ship weapons in various caves. All right, so let's say we blow them up. And they have a lot of maybe 150 or 200 fast boats left. All right, we blow them up. They're hidden, but we'll find them. They have drones. They're hidden. We'll find them. They have ballistic missiles or missiles of their own that they can shoot into the area. And so the point I'm getting to is there's a lot of things that have to be blown up simultaneously, or let's say within 3 days. And then the minesweepers have to come in and sweep out the mines. And so you can see it's going to be cat and mouse game. And you have to induce the commercial merchant ships to want to go through the strait, and they need insurance for that, and you have to convince the insurance companies that it's safe to go through the strait. So you can see it's not so simple. But I guess my feeling is, well, let's just start, or not start, but complete what we had started.
What's the deal with Pakistan? Why are they letting these trains go through?
Well, Pakistan, like most countries, is a frenemy. That means it's a friend in the morning and an enemy in the afternoon. And the other alternative, President Trump could call up his good friend, the president of Pakistan, and say, "I don't want any resupply to Iran." But I wouldn't believe the answer. He could say, "Oh, I promise you, Mr. President, there'll be no resupply." Just like China said, "I promise no resupply." So I basically don't trust dictatorships. I trust democracies. Half the people in the world live in a democracy, half in a dictatorship. But I basically don't trust what dictators say. So that's why I think you just have to you ask politely for one day and then start blowing things up.
I want to go to option 2, that we somehow take a bad deal, turn it into a good deal, and delay this after the elections. Can we really afford to do that, Ken?
Well, remember we discussed that there's no obvious, clear, wonderful strategy here.
Right.
So let's just look at it. Yes, it can be done. We can take a deal. America will announce that it was a victory. Iran will announce that it was a victory, and kick the can down the road basically till November, and then the president can say, okay, after the election, then I'll resume attacking Iran. There you have the problem that we were discussing of the fatigue of our pilots, of our wonderful sailors, of our Marines, Let
me just say this while we're reconnecting. Check out his book called The Multifront War.
Are you still there?
Yeah, there we go. We're back with you. Go ahead, Ken.
Yes. Sorry, I had a technical problem.
Okay.
Now, look, our soldiers are wonderful. They'll put up with the fatigue if we tell them to, and we'll bring in new pilots, and we'll bring in new ships. So it can be done. It's just that it'll make America look weak. And when you're dealing with dictatorships and evil people, you don't want to look weak. And President Trump has publicly said, I don't take bad deals. I'm not taking a bad deal. So he would have to take a bad deal to have the illusion that things are okay and get the Strait open, get the price of oil down. But he doesn't like taking bad deals.
Well, in closing, if we were to take a bad deal, say it's a good deal, and try to expend this out past the elections, Iran has a clear history, along with its allies, to restock. And so if we instituted a war after the election, they're going to be better prepared to fight us again.
You come to the key point, which is why I would attack today, as General Keane would, and that is that Iran is wounded. They have to get their hands on a nuclear weapon. They can't produce one fast enough. They're going to have to try to buy one from North Korea, buy one from Russia, buy one from China, buy one from Pakistan, or get a biological weapon or a chemical weapon. So they're a mortal risk to America every day that that country exists, run by the criminal organization that's running it. That's why I wouldn't kick the can down the road.
Okay. Thank you, friend. I know you're on the move. I value your time greatly. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, The Multifront War, this is it. This is the book that he's worked on for so long, and yet it pretty much takes into account everything that we're dealing with today, especially in the headlines, defending America from political Islam, China, Russia, pandemics, racial strife. That's the whole gamut. And check out his website, which is savethewest.com, savethewest.com. One last quick question, Ken, and that is, do you think in your gut we're going in shortly to finish the job?
Look, we have July 4th coming up. I don't think President Trump wants a full shooting war on July 4th. June is the month that's negotiable. I hate to say that, but my guess is he's going to get very frustrated in about 10 days and give the military 2 or 3 weeks and try to finish up the job that he had promised the American public he would do before he went for the ceasefire, and get it done before July 4th.
All right. Thank you, friend. Blessings on you. Stay in there. We need you.
Okay.
All right,
great to be with you.
Okay, bye-bye.